we are live again. So not as much technical difficulties as last time. At least I think we are... Yeah, we are live. Let's see. Just a minute while I am making a couple of adjustments. If you are watching this after the streaming event, I recommend fast forwarding a couple of minutes while I'm setting this up. Yeah, welcome back, Frisky. So you are interested in some Bendy then. Now, Bendy and the Ink Machine, this is a game that I originally, like Perception, started on in 2016 for this game, 2017 for Perception, and I never finished them. I just finished Perception now, and I intend to do the same with Bendy and the Ink Machine. And this music in the background has been haunting me ever since. Sets sort of the atmosphere for what is to come. And hopefully, as does this, an old-fashioned lantern to light up my face a little bit. How does it look? Looks good enough, doesn't it? Yeah. The joys of a secondary monitor. Right, so I know that they have refined the game once, maybe twice, or maybe multiple times, where they refined some player models. So because the first time I watched a tiny portion of it the first time, but once the game came out, and when I played it myself, there were already some changes in some of the characters, or the environment. But let's see, I also remember that the title screen was different because maybe I'm remembering wrong because this is quite a few years ago, but I think I remember we saw into the room where you arrive instead of having a flat title screen. But again, maybe I'm wrong. Well, let's begin then. I've been wanting to revisit this for quite some time, and I don't really remember anything anyway. Dear Henry, it seems like a lifetime since we worked on cartoons together. 30 years really slips away, doesn't it? If you're back in town, come visit the old workshop. There's something I need to show you. Your best pal, Joey Drew. From what I understand, it's supposed to draw parallels to the Disney Corporation. Early Disney. It even has a similar handwriting as Disney, I believe. But yeah, because I saw a documentary at one point that depicted how people were really upset and skeptical about working under Disney. And I believe you can see some of it here as well. Every chapter they updated, there are 5 chapters. Oh, there were 5! Wow. When I stopped playing, there was 2, and it's 3rd in the making. So it's much better now, especially the architecture of the locations in the game. Okay. I'm gonna go in with a fresh mind. I look for it. Look, Little Devil Doll. You can see the hand here on the poster. It's very Mickey Mousey, but that's what they're going for as well. They're going for this old parallel feel. I used to watch a lot of those cartoons as a child as well, so Chapter 1, moving pictures. So I feel right at home with it.
All right, Joey. I'm here. Let's see if we can find what you wanted me to see.
I don't remember it being voiced. Maybe that's something they added, or maybe, again, it's something which I just... Oh. Imagined. Exit. Very bright outside. A lot of ink dripping. Bendy and Little Devil Darling, presented in Silly Vision. It's also a pun on I don't remember what it's called. The real version, but it's a pun on the real version. 5 cents. Bendy the dancing demon. In a big rice ball. Buy bonds. Presented in silly vision. This vision thing was some sort of technology for some color vision, or it's not color vision. They had a name for it. Oh, that's a different name. Bendy in sheep songs, presented in televisions with Boris the Wolf. It's so nostalgic. They made it so that it feels like I know these characters, but I don't. Boris the Wolf. Joey Drew Studios. I love the general looks of this place, but I guess the guy who quit and came back now is allergic to this place. But he was invited back to discuss some matters. It's just blank. A very bright blank. The Bendy poster. Not poster, but a cardboard cutout, I guess you call him. Oh! With a big head. Like a chibi version. Oh, hello, Franklin. How are you? Oh, the state of this place. Lots of blank papers on the wall. As if this has a very haunted feel. But what even happened there and why? It's just decayed. I'm good. Oh, that's good. I'm doing good too. Although, you know, I always wonder what have I ponder on my life choices every time I find myself at the start of a horror game. I'm like, I want to play a horror game tomorrow. I really do. And then I started up and I'm like, what has life come to? Why did I do this? Ooh. Spooked me a little bit. Another card.
Desk. I wasted so much time in this chair.
Oh, that's where it worked. Just right by the entrance, and in here I guess they expanded quite a bit as well. So we drew Bendy, or we are one of the Bendy animators. Just no. Oh, I think I heard about this game. Welcome back, Meadow. Yeah, it was really... It became really, really popular and very, very hyped. I played this... I played the first chapter when it was brand new. And I always wanted to play the other chapters as well.
I knocked out a wall or two after I left. Guess it took a few people to replace me.
I just mentioned, like, yeah, maybe they expanded. Yeah, I see there now that they obviously did quite a few of those posters. Musical notes and all. It really is a parallel to those old silly symphonies and merry melodies shows where music and orchestra played a large piece. Or at least they spammed memes about it. Yeah, it has been very popular. What was this? I don't think it's as popular anymore, but at least it was for a time. And it is a very unique game. Work hard, work happy. Me. Sounds like something any boss would say. And this, I guess, is also why many animators hated Disney as well. I mean, many Don Bluth movies came from this. Don Bluth was one of the Disney animators, and he quit. And he made his own little show. I don't remember what was the tipping point of that, if that cup of glass, but I remember that there were some fights about, for instance, Lion King was supposed to have a much more vile eerie ending than it has, and it already has a creepy ending. But it was supposed to be much more graphic and all, and Disney didn't agree with this. So we had to make it a bit more child friendly, and there were also other scenes, other movies. So Don Bluth ended up starting up for his own, and you have movies like All Dogs Go to Heaven, you have The Secret of Nim, and which are really really good. I really enjoy those. But there are when you watch them, you get the feel that they are not. They are also for adults in a much greater scale. There's blood, there's death, stuff which they try to tone down, especially the classical Disney movies. They want to emphasis on the family movie, but not as much tragic and death and all that. I completed chapter 1. I'm going to subscribe and like, oh, thank you. I did play chapter 1 and 2 when they came out long ago, like 2016 or so. I really don't remember anything. I always wanted to come back to it. And I'm intending to play through all of it. I feel live streams are... Usually I make Let's Plays, regular Let's Plays. But I feel for like a full reboot here, a live stream is in order. And I don't remember this section at all. So, and I ramble a lot. Heads up, I ramble a lot. But many people seem to like my slow approach to horror games. Oh, it looks like there's ink on... That's probably just not ink, it's probably just... No, it is ink. Or is it rot? Animation boards. I didn't know that so many animators worked on the same character. I thought they all worked on different characters. But I also believe that different characters, different employees maybe worked on different sorts of animations as well. Maybe that's why. Delicious. Briar label bacon soup. Made from a traditional family recipe, Briar label bacon soup tastes just like the home kitchen cooking that Mom used to make. Just the way the little devil likes it. It looks a bit like a little devil, doesn't he? With those... I'm not sure if that's a weird hair. Hairdo, or if those are actually horns. 12 cents. Yeah, things. Money was different back then. Ugh. Toilet is even boarded up for whatever reason. Why is there even a Bendy cutout in the toilets? This is like the North Korea of animation. Chapter 4 is hard for me. Oh. Thanks for the heads up. I wonder how chapter 3 are as well, and 5. This is a very... I love the ambience. This is very, very subtle. Art department, ink machine this way. Theater, break room. Joey Drew Studios. Dreams come true. A very recent calligraphy with ink. Oh, those very old-fashioned. My grandfather had one of those. Something similar to this. Like a projector you could watch Popeye the Sailor and such old cartoons like this directly on the wall. Bendy. There's ink pouring from every orifice of this building. Well, we were invited here by someone. Maybe there's in here, but why did they lock? It's the only place that has a light in the room, apparently, from what we can see. Storage area, maybe. Ink machine. It even has this little ink machine. Jojo Studios. Ink output schedule. Ink output. Okay. Gallon. I'm not from anywhere in the Americas. I'm more used to the metric system. So I don't even know how much a gallon is. Ink. Written in ink. Monday, 19 gallon, 13, 18. Saturday, 423. Wednesday, back up. But hold on a Thursday. I don't really understand it, but 423 on Saturday? What? What's your step? I mean, maybe there's an explanation why it's pouring ink everywhere. But wasn't this whole place abandoned? Oh. Feels almost like I'm in some sort of in the Shadow Dark Descent environment with all the light filtering through
This
here.
lift could use a few dry cells.
Lift. Something submerged into the presumably ink. Wouldn't make sense why they call it an ink machine then. Is this a dry cell then? Is that some sort of battery? Ink. It's not paint, it's ink. Where would we... Oh, here. I thought this was a chest. Like a treasure chest. Like the one over there.
Hiding down there, old friend.
Let's see what you're hiding down there and why even. It works. But some of the things go down. Okay, that's not ink. That's not a pool of ink. That's just darkness. Makes sense as well. Why I was wondering why isn't there ink all over the place? It's just some splatters over there. It's a lot of thick cables. Why is the ink machine hovering like it's a trapped heart? And how do we... I want to have a closer look at this ink machine. A giant ventilation shaft, but I guess this produces quite a bit of heat, so I guess it has to. Let us hope the cardboards aren't living creatures that we're not extracting ink from, and that we're not extracting ink from them. Why would they be living things? Oh, what? Was this open? Bendy and Little Devil Darling. Darts. Can we play? I never was good at this. I don't even know how to accumulate the points. Okay, yeah. Ooh. Oh, that looks good at least. Yeah, we're gonna leave it at this. The only other way to make this worse is to throw the opposite direction. What have we here? Henry. Oh, this is... Isn't this when you stamp in for work? Back in the day, you would have to check in to work and check out of work, and you use tiny little cards to do so.
Always on time.
Always on time, yeah. Never saw them in person, but I've heard of them, and I saw them in movies, in old movies. Don't forget to punch in. It could save your job. Well, technically, it shows that you are present at work. That's the sort of thing I suppose they were used for. And to show how many hours you work, because you would also punch out, I believe they call it. And thus they would accumulate how many work hours and how much you get paid. Work hard, work happy. Ooh. That looks like it leads to some sort of changing room or showers even. Danger, keep out. I'm starting to wonder if this wall was always there, just that it didn't have tapestry or anything, or if this was boarded up. Especially considering it has an extra plank right here. But let's not dwell too much, that's gonna make us insane. Like over here, what? I guess it's just part of the wall. Why would someone make a tunnel that looks like this? Oh, so much cobweb. So much ads pointed everywhere. The audience didn't come in here. The employers are here. Well, oh, light turned off. Unless there's like open days where paying customers are allowed to come in and look at how good this workplace is. By the way, have some ads for our newest films. Splatter of ink in the corner. Is there someone behind there? It unsettles me that I cannot. Wait, what's this thing in the door? Is this... Okay, that's just a sign. You can write this is the elevator room. Stuff like that. I thought at first it was like a peeking thing. Well, maybe it is. Who knows? Seem like food. He will set us free. You know you're up for some shit when you see writing like this. Crooner tuner. Why is the radio dancing on the music? It sounds exactly what I would imagine to hear in those sort of cartoons. It's very nostalgic. Oh. Sets the mood far into the hallway. Is there something else for me here? I wonder. Oh, there's an LP record just laying there. You shouldn't have that laying around. I don't know how fragile they are, but that made a very weird sound. Alright, we were invited over here and so far no one has come to greet us. We had break room, the theater, ink machine, art department. I guess we were... No, we weren't there. They actually used songs made for the game by channels on YouTube and added them into these in-game radios. Oh, that is nice. So they... yeah, because you can find anything on YouTube and online, can't you? With... This is maybe a little bit unrelated, but I saw a very cool animation, a short animation on YouTube recently, which is called Forget Me Not, which is about a very old classical cartoon character, sort of like, it looks sort of like Bendy, and then they made like a 3D version one, and then the old one thought that the new one would replace them, and then it had a little fight. It was cool though. It's like a reboot, so to speak. With permission, of course. And only really the instrumentals. Also, they actually sing as well, then. Okay. But they sound really much like they would in a show like this. What is plank? There's nothing for... Well, maybe there were leakage in the... No, there wasn't. There's no mark or anything. What was this up there?
Oh my god. Joey, what were you doing?
Who's laughing now? What? With candles and everything. Is that a pipe wrench stuck? Oh god. Someone dressed as a costume, but... Well, I assume this is a whole just big prop. I hope that it's not someone wearing a costume who murdered her. Bendy in Sheepsongs. Boris the Wolf, I presume. Wow, you're giant. It's like the animatronics of Five Nights at Freddy's. You wouldn't imagine they're that big, but if you see them next to you, suddenly they're like almost twice your size. Giant. There's a plant growing here. Like songs from DA games, JT music, and random encounters. Oh, and the stupendium. Just tubes going out there. I wonder if those tubes are originally see-through, but that are full with ink and... Little devil. It's a giant. I think it was. I was here. Oh, this is the locked door. That was the locked door that I couldn't get in. I hear whispering all the time. It could just be the splatting of ink, but it feels like whispers, especially here. It's not what I think it is it? It looks like a bone. Like a leg bone. Why is that in a toolbox? I'm not touching that. A note, but I can't interact with the notes. I remember playing this game on Game Jolt in early 2017 to 2018. Yeah, Game Jolt is where I originally got it in 2016. And afterwards, Steam... Well, I think simultaneously Steam allowed me to just implement it into Steam. I feel safer that way because I have most of my games there. One manager to hold them all, sort of. Let's roam a little bit more, shall we? Oh. Okay, that was just us. That was just us trying the door. Wait. I only going my rambly ways, going this one direction. I think there was another direction as well. I talk too much. That's my problem. Probably. Ink machine.
Alright, how do I get this to work?
Why would I? I came here to talk to someone. Not play Amnesia Machine for Pigs over again. Low pressure. Low pressure. And I guess this is just to turn it on, not to pressure it. Main power. More plants growing here. Is this soil? Is this dirt? What looks like a cogwheel. It looks like a mix between a Pokeball and a cogwheel. And a oh, this was stuck in the mascot. And then a book. And then a Bendy plushie. Musical note. And of course, ink. Which there is an abundance of. Yeah, there is someone here.
Who put this here?
There's someone here messing with me. Unless this place is haunted, that could of course be, but I didn't hear anyone. There was one in one of the rooms. Maybe it hid behind the door after all. Oh, and by the way, Boris is actually dead over there. Huh? Oh, now I can pick it up. I couldn't earlier. I guess I had to look at it. Boris is actually It's not a mascot, you mean? Are you telling me that this is a... Oh, is that where the plank fell? Yeah, this is... Oh, it is where the plank fell, yeah. The plank is... Plank is gone now, I think. But are you telling me that this is a real thing? Did they make their cartoon characters come to life? And if they did, why would they kill them? I mean, there are many examples of, well, Frankensteinish inventions, making something real, and then deciding that was possibly not a good idea after all. Look no further than Stephen King's Pet Sematary. Sure, previously alive, but... Not a good idea, and then having to kill it after all. Which begs the question, what did they actually do here? Okay, let's put this tool now at its little pedestal. Alright. Now let's look for some more. That's what the ink machine is for. I mean, really, who would need all that ink for just doodling? I was thinking the same thing. I mean, you know, maybe they just are afraid of there being like a shortage of ink and just filling, like there's just large ink tanks all over the place. And then Disney and Don Bluth doesn't have any more ink left and they go out of business. And this studio over here can have all the fun and money and make all the family entertainment. I mean, I try not to think too much about it, but now I have an extra brewery. Thank you very much. if Boris is real, what if Bendy is? But what did it do and how did it do it? And does this have anything to do with what it said about this biblical saying, this will save us all, or whatever it said? I guess we'll find out in due time. Oh, now I could pick this up. It sounded like we ate it on the go. Okay, I'm going to head back to the main hall and see, because I couldn't pick up the pipe wrench at first until I found out that, oh, we need this for the pedestals. So I'm going to go all the way back here. I heard a creaking. There's a lot of creaking. Look at this tiny little Bendy cutout. This projector makes a very, very airy sound, airy music, even though it's just a blank projector image. It makes a very, very airy music. I'm not sure if that's intended by the studio or not. Definitely intended by the game makers, but it says on the wiki that it becomes apparent that the ink machine functions similar to a 3D printer, in which it turns 2D sketches into realistic physical models, and also that ink machine is bloody massive. I'm equally amazed that it had to be submerged into the darkness. Why? I mean, it couldn't be to conceal it. People saw there was a huge amount of chains everywhere. And here we have... That reminds me of very... Oh, okay. It's like ghosts. I can hear sketching. I can hear the sounds of sketching for some reason. But yeah, this is the ink I need, I guess. You see the poison symbol on it. I hope no one was stupid enough that they wanted to try drinking it or anything. But I remember a... what was it? Mickey Mouse? It was some sort of weird episode of some very old show where there was something like this, a jar, and it had like a skull thing on it, and I was very, very, very young when I watched it, and it almost caused me nightmares. It creeped me out for some reason, and I always tried to find that episode ever since, and I couldn't find it. Okay, yeah, told you I was rambling. Probably comparable to a truck. Yeah, the ink machine as a whole, at least. But why is it even hoisted? Why is it hanging? If you look at that easily in front of you and turn around and look back, the drawing changed. Ooh. Is that why I keep hearing drawing sounds? Turn around and look back. Because I can hear something drawing. I hear sounds coming from that drawing. Oh god, yeah. It is haunted. E-cell. I'm unfamiliar with that word. Sorry, English is not my first language. Aw. It's cute, Bendy's. That's really interesting. That's a cool mechanic. I like that. Yeah, no, I don't like this anymore now because he looks increasingly worried, more sad and more worried. Makes me feel as if something's gonna stand there when I look around the next time. It's like the final call to get out. That is creepy, yeah. Oh, drawing desk. So easel is a old-fashioned drawing desk? Or maybe even new, any drawing desk. I learn new English words every day. That I do. English is my third language, I think. Ah, Bendy, I guess that's the music then. I suppose that's the music. Something is moving. Don't mind me having a walk through this haunted scenery. Oh, going back. I don't like that place at all. It doesn't feel as bad. Like, let's follow your trail of thoughts. Let's say that this is a real thing. I don't feel as bad because it probably was inanimate to begin with in that case. But it has a rib cage. Ugh. And what were they doing and why? The light turns on even. This is very sacrificial and all. God, is this thing gonna come to life? I will try to ramble less and try to keep a more open eye. Because I ramble a lot. Did I interact with this? No.
Point, I don't get what Joey's plan is for this company. The animations sure aren't being finished on time anymore, and I simply don't see why we need this machine. It's noisy, it's messy, and who needs that much ink anyway?
Huh.
Also, get this. Joey had each one of us donate something from our workstation. We put them on these little pedestals in the break room to help appease the gods, Joey said.
What?
Keep things going. I think he's lost his mind, but hey, he writes the checks. But I tell you what, if one more of these pipes burst, I'm out of here.
Pipes. I don't think the pipes burst. Well, maybe I think a pipe behind the walls and the ceiling burst. Okay, Jesus, what? Something tells me that this storage room is stuffed with those things. Just desperately wants to escape all the other cardboard cutouts. Jesus. But yeah, this Drew guy is very crazy. That's straight. That belongs in an asylum. Oh, don't laugh. Don't you laugh at me, how dare you. Oh, that's a lot of those. Yeah, of course. I saw a separate documentary in January or February about how Disney filmed the Disney classics. Like in the Lion King era, and I believe even Bambi was mentioned. Bambi, because they had a much larger machine, but there was like a 3D environment. They wanted you to feel immersed, like with the opening scene of Bambi. You can see how some trees move faster than the other when they pan to the right, and they used a special sort of this to make that happen, and they manually filmed us as they slid us. It was like multiple layers, and also to zoom in on an environment, make many things appear closer, but not, for instance, the moon. Oh, by the way, if you happen to come across some bacon soup cans, I think I came across lots of them. Eat every single one of them and you'll get an achievement. Oh, really? Well, I wasn't much for achievements, but just because you mentioned it, I will actually try to make an effort. Thank you. What is he holding there? It's a sign that says something. K. D. Look behind. This is what I... the last letter of the words look behind is what I feel it would have said. But nah, can't be that. Here we go. Yes. We need to feed Frisky. Oh yes, the pressure was too low. So why is this here? Why is this concealed here in this theoretical room? I guess this was a theoretical room, which for some reason is accessible. There's a Bendy plush. Oh, that's cute. All 3D and everything. To be honest, I prefer you 2D. This is not currently interactable. Maybe we have to start up an engine somewhere first. Work hard, work happy. Yes. Work hard, work happy. The wet dream of every boss. Some bosses, at least. Alright. Do we need 6 or 8 items? Keep hearing stuff from it. It's probably just a light that makes sounds. Let's put we have 2 items now. Watch your step. Why is this pipe here? Oh, we're here now. Yeah. Oh. Okay, yeah, this wasn't interactable. We picked up the batteries, but not the cogwheel because it wasn't relevant at the time. Now we have 3 items with us. So, rest in peace, dear animated character. Oh, we have more items. We have... Oh, we only lack the book. Sketchbook or something. Considering this is an animated studios. Watch out for those peeking Bendy cutouts. Don't want you to get too scared now. Well. Speaking of those cut, where did it go? There was one here. Yeah, where did the one that was there go? Yeah, exactly. That's just what I was thinking. But one thing's for sure, it's too quiet. There is a lot of ambient noise, but it's too quiet. Alright, let's have a little round trip here. I suddenly feel paranoia gauging me. Even more so than before. No idea why. This place grows on you like a demon. So I guess maybe this, yeah, it's being fed ink. No wait, ink pressure. I guess it has to do with the machine. I for some reason felt that this turned on the pressure, but no, this is just being fed from the machine, which needs pressure. Alrighty, then I'm just gonna peek around like I always do. Not you. You are not peeking around. I'm peeking around. I am the peeker. Back we go. I need to imagine having an open day of this place. I've been roaming around here for 47 minutes and 20 seconds. And I feel like I need a map or two. Yep, that's the ink machine. Ooh, what? Why is there so much? Is this... It looks like paper, which is just laying there. I don't know. Okay, so a book. Maybe this is in the art department because it looked like a sketchbook or something like this. Let's have a quick sketch around here first. Does this do the same? Probably not. I don't hear skittering about. No, probably not. Oh, I can interact with this. Let's leave this on for now. It feels haunted. Felt like someone grabbed the door handle. For sure sounded like it. And this? Who's gonna read something like this? It's blank anyway, but... No. I like how it says no. I can hear script. This was my desk, he said. Nothing changed here, did it? No. Because I didn't change it. It was my desk. Someone else worked there after me, probably. But what do we have here? Towel? No, that's more... It changed, I think. Oh, hello, Minecraft player. How are you doing? Are you having a nice weekend thus far? Oh, there doesn't seem to be much in the art department, and I don't think they dumped this thing into the toilet. This isn't Saw, the video game. Everything's so rotten and decayed. I'm good. That is very good. I am good too. Although increasingly paranoid, there's paranoia building within. Like, when did this happen? Why is it just... It's the burst, the pipes with bursts in the walls, I guess, that did this. Shook the whole place. We're not turning that on again. Okay, now we have covered the art department. And, well, this also counts, maybe. Ink machine, theater, and break room. We need only a single more item. I like your content. I will subscribe. Oh, thank you very much. I am very happy that you do. If you are into, in particular, immersive content, I take a very relaxed approach to immersive games, horror games, atmospheric games I like. Because I feel for horror in particular, it is nice to have it take everything in, because there's not as much gameplay. It's more on lore, environment. The walls tell a story themselves. In this case, the story of the leaked ink pipes, which are everywhere. Now we need a sketchbook. I can smell it. I can feel that I'm getting closer. There are many books here. Could it be one of these? Ah, an interactable object. Which reads... The something of living. Cursed be this heavy chair. What is it? I don't want to touch it with my fingers until I know what it says. I think it says the vision of living. The illusion of living. That is dark, considering...
Okay, that's all of them.
Okay, yeah, it gave me a thumbnail of what the book looked like when I picked it up, so... There's that. Can I ask for a next horror game? Sure, we're welcome to. I will say that I do currently have a backlog. Earlier in time I didn't have any backlog at all, but currently I do have a backlog of horror games, some which I already have finished and some which I am currently playing through. But I am always open for suggestions, and I would love to put one in my queue, so to speak. So, which one did you have in mind, Minecraft player? Let's see if we can find our way back now to this ink, that pedestal. Ice, the horror game. Ice. Did I play Ice? What is it about briefly? It isn't a game where... Is it a game where you speak into your microphone and it sort of echolocates? Ice. I know there's a horror movie called Ice, which is extremely creepy. I'm not even sure if I watched it, but I do remember watching the trailer at the very least. I believe it was Asian. Ice, the horror game. Let's see. What I will do before I put this on the pedestal, I will take a 5-minute break, because it's like a sauna in here. It's very, very warm. So I'm gonna take a 5-minute break. And while I do this, I'm gonna note down this horror game so that I actually have it on my list so that I don't forget it. I kid you not, the next jump scare I get, I'm gonna forget the ability to even breathe. So I'm gonna jot this down, and thank you for the suggestion. And I will be back in roughly 5 minutes. I'm back. Now let's see, everything is in order. I think I always double check because every time I come back from a break something doesn't work. Or now I had the luxury of 2 monitors just to indicate that everything is up and going. Let's see, technical difficulties. I just looked away. Oh no, I'm sorry, I just took a break. It's a game where you collect money bags and have to escape a house before a burned woman with half of her body kills you. You can take a bloody painting on the wall to see her point of view. Oh, I think I've seen it. I think I looked at it and thought, hell no. But I will give this a go since you specifically suggested it. I will give it a go. It probably isn't for the faint of heart though, and I have a faint heart sometimes. I just finished A Dead of Night. That was one of the most tense things I've ever played. Okay, let's place this sketchbook here, or this like philosophical book.
Get the ink flowing somehow. Should be a switch around here somewhere. Then I can start up the main power.
There's a very large switch here. Oh, not this one. So if it's not, do I have to go to the machine then maybe? Yeah, okay, this is probably just a middle point. Let's see, you're not much of a horror guy, huh? It depends what sort of horror, because I like to say horror comes in many different shapes and forms. And I was never much of a jump scare person, so to speak, or when something feels like a game. I know there are many horror games that feels more like a challenge than it feels like an actually real, what do I say, a real nightmare, like as if you are physically there. Like you're constantly thinking about gameplay mechanics, push the right buttons, etc. Those are traditionally not the kind of horror games I play. This is where Dead of Night really differed, because yes, it felt like a game in one way, but it was so realistic. It was so much realistic imagery, and every look were realistic, and there were real live filming as well of the characters. So it really felt like I was really there, which I really, really loved. I like psychological horror. Yeah, psychological horror is the one I usually prefer as well. Like Amnesia: The Dark Descent would be the prime example, I believe. I'm bad at English. I don't know how to use a and the. Oh, though it seemed to be good from what I thought you were a native speaker. I'm not a native English speaker myself. I have one of the reasons why I did streaming and YouTube was not only to sort of get the courage to go through the intriguing horror games, which I wouldn't dare playing myself, and having people watch me sort of helped me experience this morbid curiosity that I had, but also to improve my English. Did you ever play Outlast? I did play Outlast. I played when was it, 2013 or 2013? I played it for, I streamed it. I streamed a big portion of it, but I never put it on YouTube. But I played through Outlast, and I played through Whistleblower, the DLC, and Outlast 2. I did stream Outlast 2 on YouTube. The chat is disconnected. I'm gonna see if that resolves itself. I think it happened a few times. Let's see. can we interact with this now? It lights up. I speak Serbian. Okay, the chat is back online. For some reason the chat keeps disconnecting sometimes. Serbian, that's a language group far away from English, I believe. So like my native language is Norwegian, and I speak Norwegian, and my second language is German, but I haven't used it in ages. Both of which are Germanic languages, so they are very closely related to English. So me learning English is probably way easier than you as a Serbian speaker learning English, I bet. Because I can only imagine that Serbian and English are so different. Well, in my language, the grammar is similar. Many of the vocabularies are very similar. I hope someday you blow up on YouTube. Oh, thank you. That is very nice of you to say. I don't really think so. And contrary to what many want, I am actually not dissatisfied with where I am. I actually do enjoy being not too big. Oh shit! Because if I grow big, then I attract cycles like that thing that just peeked around the corner. Jesus Christ! One of my biggest fans. Huh? But yeah, I like growing. I'm not gonna deny that, but also I'm not dissatisfied as many other channels are. Smaller channels. Okay. That is cute. Okay, this place is haunted. This is the walls and the building talking to me. I bet. Oh. Ooh. Ugh. That was a very cartoony machinery thing. Okay, I hope there's a drain in there. I didn't see one. Ooh. Thought I heard someone in there. Turn on the ink machine. New objective. That sounded very mechanical. Oh god. Hearing scary music and seeing this Bendy thing. Let's see. Okay, hang on. I need to go somewhere else before I read the comments. I am not used to people watching my live streams, and I'm not used to seeing comments. I am very humble, but I need to go to somewhere safe now because I can hear everything flowing behind me. So I would. Sorry, I blanked out. Is everything set up for this now? Ready, it says. Okay. Just look at the machinery. It looks so cartoony. This whole building shouldn't even exist. But I guess it makes sense when you look at it. I thought it was the art style of the horror game, but this whole building looks drawn. German is a nice language. Here in Texas, some of us speak it, particularly in the more northwestern area. Whoa, you got jump scared while you were typing. That's new. So you're from Texas then? Nice, howdy. When I went with my girlfriend to Düsseldorf in Germany, she's from Germany, some German in front of us turned around and they didn't ask me if I was a US citizen. He asked me, are you from Texas, specifically? And we both just said in short, no, Norwegian. I also know that Texas, there are a lot of German speakers in Texas. I believe they called it Texas German. I think I saw a documentary around that. I told you about that. Here comes the creepiness. Don't say that. That's scary. That Bendy scared me too. Did the ink turn everything into a cartoon? Maybe. I mean, this whole building looked like a cartoon, to be honest. I thought it was just the art style. Do you play mobile games? You mean games that are on Android or iOS, right? It's not called iOS anymore, I think. But I not really. I play a little bit of Plague Inc. on Android, and I do have the Mario Run game, but I very rarely play it. I assume when you say mobile games, you don't mean Nintendo Switch, which classifies as both a handheld and a console, a TV console. Because I do play Switch a little bit. There I play the current Pokemon games, and I play. I'm currently playing through Mario Odyssey. I downloaded Amnesia for the Switch, but it lags a lot, so I do not recommend Amnesia for the Switch. Fredericksburg is the best place to go for Texas German stuff. We even celebrate Oktoberfest here. Oh, nice. I showed a documentary about Texas German to my girlfriend who is German, and she's like, oh, that's just, it sounds so much like just standard German with some English words thrown in there. Do you like Minecraft? I enjoy the concept of Minecraft. I own Minecraft. I always wanted to go back into it and try it more. I never got around to it much. I have played a little bit of it. I remember thinking, oh, it's such a cute, innocent game, a family game, and I dwelled into a cave at one point, and I actually was terrified because I only saw darkness and I heard all those moans and all. And also, I was building my fortification, and suddenly some sort of creeper thing spawned there. Hang on. I promised Maple Fox, my girlfriend, to show this off and stream at one point. Who would have known if I'd gotten into this theme by now? This subject. Yeah, you have the creeper here. I saw one of the. I made a house or something, a dungeon, and I didn't realize that if it's not properly lit up, then things can spawn in there. So I was like, it's so creepy outside. I'm in my own little safe bubble here, and suddenly there was one of those in there. And it blew up, taking me and my little castle with me. So, thank you much for that, you suicide bomber, you. I've been thinking of trying it again, but I haven't gotten into a variety of games yet. There's so many games I want to go back to. I also didn't finish GTA 5, which I wanted to. I would watch it. Watch me play Minecraft, you mean? Mad respect for you. Stopping game for reading chat. Oh, no. Oh, well, I have to. You spent time writing to me. I have to stop for responding. Also, the majority of my content is making immersive Let's Play content, or long plays, they may also be referred to on YouTube. Let's Plays, live streaming, I try to make a slow, calm approach as well, but it's sort of a bit more mixed. I allow myself to be distracted a bit, and because I've learned that it's more about interaction. I love interact. That's why I loved Let's Plays in the first place, and like live streams in the first place. And I missed that. Well, I started doing live streams back in 2012 or so, mostly to friends, so that I would dare play horror games, because I wouldn't touch horror with the longest molten stick ever. And then I played Amnesia: The Dark Descent for the first time with a friend in real life, and when he played, it was like watching a creepy horror movie, a little bit spookier. But when I would take over the control, I would take the keyboard and mouse. We were playing a pitch dark room with a giant flat screen TV with loud volume, and whenever I would take over the control, I've like just making one more step into the unknown. That made me feel so alive, and it intrigued me. And I didn't have nightmares for ages after I finished that game. I thought that I would be more screwed than I already was, but it sort of cured me in a little weird way. I was hungry for more, and I forgot about all my real life problems during the time, and that's what made me more hungry, I guess. Do you read your comments on your videos? I try to as much as possible. Yes, I try to respond to most or every comment. Currently to every comment, because I don't get too much comments yet. If I grow and become more popular, that might be a challenge. And I see a lot of YouTubers say the same thing, that once they grow, they do not have the time or effort, and they burn out if they were to answer to absolutely everything. So they try to pick up the most popular ones, maybe the most upvoted ones, or the ones they come across. But currently, I respond to everything, and I will try to as much as possible in the future. So although I doubt I will get so much that it will impair my ability. So I read through all my comments, yes, and respond to as much as I can, currently everything. With all of you guys here, I can finally have some competition to be first in Rad's streams. Yeah, that surprised me. I'm not used to having, like, 3 or 4 or 5 streams ago, there were no one. There were some streams where I was completely alone. And then there were one who kept frequent, like for instance through At Dead of Night, we had Umuxus Jealous, who was one of the first really faithful people to really go through my content and also my streams, and he even helped me through. We were sort of like a 2-person thing through At Dead of Night, trying to solve the puzzles and all. And if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't even be able to finish that game. At Dead of Night, one of the creepiest things ever. I have 88/89 subscribers. Do you know one Serbian word? I do not. Actually, I'm trying to place the language category better. I do know that many languages are similar to each other. Like there's a dialect continuum in the world. Like my native language is Norwegian. My neighboring countries are Danish and Swedish. To some extent, through exposure, we can communicate to each other, especially if we speak slowly. And a Bulgarian friend told me that it's the same with him and Russian, and certain other languages, but especially Bulgarian and Russian are apparently almost the same. And I'm picking up some Japanese kanji characters, and of course Japanese and Chinese are completely different languages, but the kanji sets, they have one symbol for one meaning or one word, and I can read basic Chinese things, like really basic Chinese things, just by studying some Japanese calligraphy. Wouldn't be able to pronounce it at all, but I can understand, like, for example, this is a school road, or stuff like this. So, maybe you can teach me a Serbian word. What is the Serbian word for horror? Let's see. I'm sorry for pausing the game. Let's see. Ready. I'm gonna flip this switch. Ooh, things became darker, didn't they? Running. Back to the question when I first came in here. Oh, how do I turn this on? Why would we turn this on? We were invited here by someone to talk about someone. Is this the presence of this place haunting us, telling us, whispering in our ear, going out, turn it on. You will unlock unfathomable power. Without us realizing it. Because why would we turn this on? Why didn't we just take a U-turn and walk out? As I probably will do now anyway. Look, someone got killed there. Oh, everything is so... Oh, okay, yeah. This pipe is blocking the lights. No, but seriously, that's much darker. Do you want to know any Serbian word? I can translate. Napred. Forward. Napred. Napred is horror. Do I say that right? Napred? Or is it more like napred? Or something like this? Accents is the last thing to ever disappear when you learn a new language. If it ever disappears, there will always be an accent, but you can minimize it when you learn a new language. Cool, I didn't think it could add any creeper. It's not just me, right? It's not just me. It is darker. It is certainly darker. That maybe it's just later in the day. No, that doesn't make sense. There's no windows there. Ink machine. Danger, keep up. What does this look like? Oh. Why is this brought it up? What the fuck? Oh god! Well, okay, that look. Don't mind if I exit. Oh. Exit. Achievement unlocked. Hello, Bendy. Yeah, that looked like a tiny little miniature Bendy. Ugh. Let's get out of this black shower. What did I do? Drain? The good thing about knowing a language that nobody else knows in your area is that you can talk smack about people without them knowing. That is why I wish that my own language... Well, I don't like to talk smack about people, but I wish my own language was a bit more cryptic. The good thing, yeah. Even better when they turn out to know the language and insult you back. Yeah, I saw some videos about that. Like two Chinese guys talking about a girl that one of them really liked. They should ask her out, and no, I can't. And then the girl gets up, turns around, and just says something to him like goodbye or something in Chinese. And I think that was just a sketch. But there are also cases like real footage. Also, another when it comes to languages, if you learn a secondary language. Or it is said that like you use parts of your brain that you usually wouldn't use. You use so few parts of your brain. A small portion of your brain is used every day, and if you only speak one language, you only use so much. But if you learn a second language and also use it, like two languages can occupy the same place of the brain. So you're forcing to use other parts of your brain as well. They also say that if you learn other languages, you can delay Alzheimer's by around 5 years. I think it was a new study. If you would have gotten this, that is. But I think they're almost got a cure for this anyway soon. Danger, keep out. Well, can't be any more danger than I was in. Ugh. Okay, so this is a terrain thing. Well, I can call my friends Dummkopf and don't have to worry about anything. Dummkopf, that would be something akin to an idiot. By the way, you're from... What is the time where you are? Like here it is just after 11 p.m. Texas is on the other side of the world, though. Is it like 5 o'clock or something where you live? Clear a new path. Tip, an axe may come in handy to move this a bit. Like I have I have a lantern here to sort of brighten up my face a bit. This is gifted to me. This is a birthday gift from my girlfriend. And it's actually very convenient. It's obviously not a real lantern. It's a battery-powered one. But it actually comes in handy. It's airy and creepy if you bring it with you out in the woods, and it lights up my face sufficiently. 407 2308. Oh, okay. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. I thought you linked to a part in the video, or let's say the live stream, but I just asked about the time. The creator lied to us. Well, whoever did this stuff up there, right? Yes. So I wasn't that far off. I said 6. 2308. Yeah, I guess that's not as far away.
This will definitely come in handy.
We sound so echoey. This is sealed off. Why is there a very ritualistic feel to this very room? Coffins. A pentagram thing or a hex. No, I don't know what this is. It's a Well, something entered our mind. I guess we are part of this now. Chapter 2, The Old Song.
Oh, my head. What happened?
How did we put the axe like that?
Well, I guess there's only one thing to do. Press on. See if I can find a way out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's not a pentagram then, I guess. It looks like a Pac-Man thing. But why? And what's with these coffin-like things? The dancing demon. Alright, this is the second live stream I do today. The first one was finishing perception, where you are blind, legally blind, but you can perceive through your ears using trained echolocation, which was a very interesting and unique game as well. But I will call it a night here. I will not progress beyond this, but I'm not even sure how the saves are in this game. So I'm gonna leave the gameplay portion here. I can stick around for a few minutes maybe and talk a bit though, if you like that, maybe, or if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And I thought there was someone dropping down from the ceiling, but it's just the ink. Let's have a look at that. Ugh. Well, I guess the top floor, the entry area, is completely flooded. Thankfully, we are not in here. But I didn't see any drains in the floor. This worries me. This worries me a lot. And it wonders, it makes me wonder how long was I out if this was placed like this. This was placed like this. This didn't fall from our hand like this. So, I don't have a PC, but I have 2 strong phones. Realme 7, 6 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs storage, and Realme 8, 6 gigs RAM, 128 gig. They can run Minecraft Java PC edition with 100 FPS. Yeah, Minecraft is very nicely optimized. Doesn't really take much. Like I have a Raspberry Pi here. This thing is very neat. It cannot run I haven't been able to make it run Windows yet even. And if you go on YouTube, it shuts off YouTube. But Minecraft works. Minecraft works with 30 plus FPS, which is not that bad because it's not choppy. It's not struggling. It maintains a constant 30 from at least last time I tried it. So it feels nice. It's not like when a game struggles and it shows 30, but in reality it actually dips to maybe 5 for like a split second. Like it tears a bit more. It's not fluent at all. Unless you run mods. Normally Java Edition is very hard to run on low-end devices. So Mojang invented Pocket Bedroom Edition. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe that's a Linux version there as well for a lightweight one. Back in time, like as I mentioned earlier, The Dark Descent, Amnesia The Dark Descent was my first horror game, which I played back in 2012, at one point during 2011, 2012, I think. And it's before that I couldn't touch horror at all. When I grew up, from what I was told, I was traumatized because my biological father, who apparently was a scumbag, locked me in a dark room at night when he wanted to go party when I was still an infant, maybe slightly older, tied me to a room, arms and legs to a bed, and went out. And allegedly, because my grandfather caught him doing it at one point, like he was drunk, I heard a lot of drunk stuff in the dark, drunk people outside, and that explains why I had a mild form of nyctophobia at one point. I was almost hospitalized a few times when the lights went out in my childhood. And yeah, and I think that was like I always had to sleep with the lights on in my early childhood. Anything creepy, I just couldn't. Nothing even remotely creepy. So I had nightmares roughly every day. I remember the day I was adopted into my grandfather's house because the court deemed that my father wasn't really... because of my father, I landed in a coma at one point because he didn't care, and I was in a coma for 2 weeks. Again, from what I was told, which either was before I could remember, or which was in an age where I could remember, but I locked it out of my memory because no recollection whatsoever, even when told. I'm sorry to hear. Oh no, that's no problem. I don't even remember this. This is just what I've been told. But it could explain why I couldn't take the darkness and why I've been, that's a wimp basically when it comes to anything relatively creepy. So when I tried, like I had nightmares every night, on average, maybe every other night if I was lucky. I would wake up in sweat from a night terror at midnight or 1 a.m. Always from a climaxing nightmare. And I don't remember what exactly led to this, but at one point I was allowed to sleep in my grandparents' room. I couldn't anymore sleep in my own room, and I still kept having nightmares, not just general nightmares, but also nightmares pertaining to this one room. As I grew up and got older, I later found out that the old house we were in were allegedly very haunted, and I'm the only one who can't remember seeing a walking apparition. I'm very glad I don't live there anymore now. Apparently that was a very haunted house as well. I do remember hearing footsteps, places where there shouldn't be footsteps. For example, when I was alone home, I saw shadows, but never any apparitions. But I just blamed it on me being up at night or being tired and stuff. So when other people, multiple family members, told me about this later on, I actually felt like someone walked over my grave. So when I first tried a horror game in 2011, 2012, I felt so alive. It felt terrifying throughout the whole game, but I felt so alive, and by the ending, it felt like I was a whole new person. I was hungering for more horror. There was this morbid curiosity. It was creepy, but I was hungry for it. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's just something about horror games. It pulls you in there. That's also why I prefer psychological horror games. I still couldn't play any games containing jump scares at that point in time. I can now, although I don't prefer jump scare heavy games, but in general, most horror games would suck you in there and escape from reality. I would forget the real world for a bit. I would become the character in the game, and I would take in everything. And I don't know, therapeutic in a way, maybe. Imagine having a PC. This post was made by Pocket Edition gang. Yeah, because you also didn't have a... You were also watching this on the phone, I believe, Meta. You told me, maybe. I currently actually... I switched phone recently. Since we're talking about phones, I have the relatively new Asus Zenfone 8. This is considered a flagship by most, at least. It's considered it's a relatively cheap phone. I believe, what would this be in US dollars? Everything is much more expensive here anyway. Do I divide it by 10? Or was that euros? I'm so... But at least it's much cheaper than the... I believe this was like almost half the price of the Samsung S21 Ultra. 120 hertz screen, 8 gigs of RAM. It has, it is, I'm not allowed to say waterproof. It has IP86 rating, I believe, which is splash resistant. It will usually survive being dropped into a pool for about an hour without problems. But the most important thing is that you can take this with you on a walk, and if it starts raining, you don't have to worry that it will stop working, unless you crack the screen. Maybe then it stops being waterproof. But yeah, this, I'm very happy with it. It's very compact. It's one of the few compact phones out there, I feel. So, and always on display. So yeah, Asus Zenfone. Not the most popular phone manufacturer, but I like Asus. I like Asus motherboards for PCs as well. Psychological horror games scare you as much as the player would be scared. There are also multiple reasons why I made this space. I went through some of them. Some being, well, it started out as streaming back then with I played SCP Containment Breach, which is a jump scare heavy game. I know I learned that afterwards. And Five Nights at Freddy's and stuff like that. I streamed this to friends who would watch me because it felt like they were there in real life with me, watching me play them. Eventually I went over to regular Let's Plays, and because I watched a lot of horror Let's Plays earlier in time, and it annoyed me. I don't think it's like this anymore, but back then it greatly annoyed me that people were being way more energetic is one thing, but let's say I was watching Amnesia: The Dark Descent, which most of the experience comes from the environment and being submerged into the game, fully submerged, and notes and lore, and people would sprint places, they would ignore where they were. The protagonist would pick up a note and start narrating with the character's voice, and they would just click it away instantly and literally say shut up. Multiple Let's Players would do this. And they would run around and they would find another note which wasn't narrated, and then they would walk around while talking about everything else in the game, which would de-immerse me from the whole experience. And then they would bitch about how there's no clues what to do. I don't know what to do. This game sucks. I'm bored. I'm out. And maybe if you had at least read once through the peculiar texts, you would find out very obvious hints as to what to do, or at least get crude ideas which direction you would go. And once again, I'm sure that it's not really like this anymore, I bet, but again, back then I kept seeing stuff like that, and it kept annoying me to the point that, like, maybe I should start making content I myself would enjoy to watch. It's not necessarily why I started making Let's Plays, but I think it's why a big motivation factor as to why I kept making Let's Plays and didn't stop, because I myself am my own audience. Nothing beats the feeling of going back and watching one of the old Let's Plays I made like many, many years ago, and it felt like I didn't remember much about the game. Which is sort of fascinating. It's like watching someone I once knew. Someone I once knew, and I couldn't put my finger on who it was, but it's someone, like a close friend, because obviously I changed a little bit over the years, but I wouldn't remember anything what I said during the Let's Play, and it felt really interesting just watching myself play. It's like watching someone completely different, but I felt so connected. It was the kind of content I myself wanted to watch. So I treat my Let's Play sort of like an album, like a photo album, so to speak. I can revisit them at one point in time. Instead of replaying, for example, a horror game, I can watch myself play it. It feels really weird when you hear it like this, but it's sort of really nice because it also it's revisiting how I felt at that time. Maybe not with the oldest of Let's Plays that I made, but in many cases it makes me connect with how I felt for the first time when I played that game, which I just really, really enjoyed. So this is also why despite never growing, I never really gave up. I just kept going. I just add more to the portfolio. So to speak, there are many Let's Players who keep making comments on Reddit like, should I delete my 6 months old Let's Play? It's not relevant anymore. I look at it, I cringe, I don't want it there anymore. But for me, it's not really a question of that. It's a portfolio. I would not want to remove anything from there. If I had a mentality like that, then I would be motivated to make in the first place, because I would be like, yeah, in less than a year, I wouldn't want this on my channel anyway. Well, why would I make it now then? It's an entry in my photo album. Rambly mess. I warned you guys. I'm a rambly mess. Asses is not bad. Yeah, I'm very satisfied with this for now, but we'll see how it goes, obviously. But so far, I'm very satisfied. Used to have Samsung. All my smartphones up until this point was Samsung, but prices went up, and they started having some right to repair issues, to put it like that. It started to become the new Apple when it comes to repairability and so. And I wanted to give something else a shot as well. I didn't want to be too much of a fanboy. I wanted to try something else, see what it had to offer, and I'm pleasantly surprised. I have 90 Hz, but fake, because Realme 7 is only made for scrolling for now, but few games support it. Yeah, I have 120, but it's set on auto, so it actually disables and enables it. Every time I eat Red Baron pizza, I think about Alexander of Brandenburg. Red Baron pizza? I've never heard of that. Is that a brand of pizza, or is it a restaurant? Pizza restaurant. I remember when I was playing NES Contra on my dad's phone with keyboard that looked like a laptop, Nokia N97. It's like before and after pics. Well, I actually have both the Mini NES and the Mini SNES. They came with the original controllers. Not the same interface, but the controllers themselves are the same. But I played a lot of emulators on the PC in my teenage years, so I actually got very used to keyboards. I play much better, like take Super Nintendo and Super Mario World, Super Mario Brothers. Those games I play much, much better on keyboard than I ever do on a controller these days. Frozen pizza brand. Is the pizza red? I believe it is. I just imagine that the cheese is red instead of white or yellowy, so that it looks sort of like Like the flesh that the Guardian of the Orbs leaves behind. So, did you play Amnesia: The Dark Descent then, Frisky? Most of the vast majority of my content is playthroughs, blind playthroughs. Well enough. The exception is this game and Perception, which I finished earlier today. Those games I had some knowledge on beforehand, but most of the games you see on my channel, the vast majority of them are completely blind. Often I didn't even see the trailer. Because I like to think that horror should be experienced blind. If you know even just tiny elements of what is to come in a horror game, it gives you some power. It's not much, but it's some power to know what's happening. And I feel that takes away some of the fear. Like, for instance, I played through Resident Evil 8 earlier this year, and I didn't look up anything at all. Many people, from my impression, already knew, especially one of the big characters in the game, and anticipated her from the start of the game, and even made references to her throughout their episodes, from what I'm told. But everything was completely fresh to me. I didn't know anything. I was like, Resident Evil 8 is sort of a continuation, of Resident Evil 7, and that alone was a pleasant surprise to me when I started the game. I thought it would be whole new characters. So my content is usually purely blind, and that enhances the immersion as well. It enhances my it's just the way it's meant to be played, I feel. But I'm also aware that many Let's Players don't know what games they would enjoy playing unless they already know some of it or have played it through once before. There are many ways to make Let's Plays, and there's an audience for absolutely everything. I'm super excited to see you play Amnesia: The Dark Descent remastered if you do. I was considering at one point to play through Amnesia hard mode on Let's Play, on Livestream at one point. A remastered and hard mode, just to check out what was new and all. But I didn't want to make if anything, I don't want to make a normal Let's Play, because for once, it's not blind. I researched a lot of that game. I know a lot of the not all of it, but I know a lot of the ins and outs of the game and mechanics. So it would be more like a live stream where we go through, and it's a bit interaction, but not a fully focused immersive Let's Play. It wouldn't be as immersive, I feel, when I already played through it. It's like one of you mentioned a little bit earlier today, that a horror game or a horror Let's Play is as scary and as immersive as scared as immersed the Let's Player is. There's also, I enjoy playing horror games immersed and all, and I have gotten many comments up through the years where they feel immersed as well, because I am immersed. I was also thinking maybe playing through Amnesia: A Machine for Pigs. That's my first Let's Play I ever did. It's actually 2 live streams, which I chopped up and uploaded in the Let's Play format, but I don't remember anything of the game, not really. I played it in 2 sessions. I regret doing it. But yeah, I'm contemplating maybe trying A Machine for Pigs on a Let's Play at one point as well. Maybe the Penumbra series as well, which I also played a long time ago, but once again, I regret that I didn't pay too much attention to the story at that point. Pete says cheese is made of 100% organic shadow. Split your skull, burn your skin, and shatter your limbs. Specifically, flay your skin. Yeah, the Guardian of the Orb seemed to swallow humans into an alternate dimension. Sort of like SCP-106 if you're into the SCP universe. And then it spits you out, and you're flayed because the dimension or whatever you were in was scalding. Shame we can't get a blind amnesia the Dark Descent Let's Play. Oh, you mean by me? Because there are many blind Let's Plays of it on YouTube, if that's what you mean. But I'm very flattered if you actually wanted one by me. Actually, I had a thought after I watched a lot of Let's Plays, after I played it myself, of course. I watched a lot of Let's Plays, and I wish that I could drink an amnesia potion myself and play it again. It's one of the coolest experiences I ever had. When you went to the distillery, which actually was renamed to refinery at the late before the release of the game, when you see a servant walking from the left to right, I actually had to pinch myself in the arm when we played it. I wasn't sure if I was dreaming or not, honestly. That's how immersed I was. I don't remember anything about the machine for pigs either. Just drink an amnesia potion and replay the game menu. Replay all of the frictional games. I am... let's see, which games do I currently have? Like earlier, just a year back, I didn't have any backlog at all of games, but now I actually finished a few games which I have yet to upload. Hang on, let me have a little look here. Does this work? Oh, there we go. Let's see, what games do we have? Oh yeah, Muxus wanted me to try a game called Knock Knock, which I actually tried a little bit yesterday and today. God, that was frustrating. It was very frustrating, but I enjoyed it. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to try to finish it, but it's very unique, very frustrating. And I played... What else do we have here in this list? Currently releasing Devotion. Mundawn. We have... No, I released... I have Medium. Medium is a game that was released, I believe, last year, which I finished. I did have some like some issues with it, where there's an episode without footage, which was another reason why I finally got a second monitor so I could actually check if it's recording. Medium. We have Under Depths of Fear is a game I finished, which I will be releasing soon. I try to not have more than 2 games being released at the same time, episodic on YouTube. At Dead of Night is sort of an exception because that was just a chopped up stream. We have The Story of Henry Bishop. What else do we have here? I'm just trying to fish out what I haven't released yet in this. I have like a little... I have a hard drive here of raw footage, which I haven't edited. Wow, I have a lot of things there. I have When the Darkness Comes, which is a short experimental game. Lurk in the Dark, the prologue, because that's the only thing that exists there right now. I thought I had more than that in my backlog. Maybe I do, but that I haven't. But, okay. But yeah, I need to head to bed. As I mentioned briefly earlier, this place is a sauna, and I'm not really a summer person. I live in Norway, which accounts for the Norway has territory which is the furthest north. It contains the civilization furthest to the north, Svalbard. I'm not that far up, but I'm still in the country which stretches the furthest north of all. But I'm just not used to all the heat waves and all that are. A lot of series going on. Yeah, I just need to get my act together and edit somewhere. But I'm considering streaming a little bit more. I didn't stream at all, I believe, from 2017 up till 2020, I think. Due to my life situation, I was unable to stream. I'm currently not able to stream as much as I would like to, due to details I don't want to go into depth with right now. But I want to try to continue this on next Friday. I believe I will be able to stream next Friday. If you go to my YouTube channel's front page, you can find my Twitter handle there. Hang on. Let me put something on here. Ooh. Where are you? There you are. At my front page here, you have follow the channel on Twitter here. And if you check here, I will try to put a notice here roughly a day in advance when I decide to stream. But I think Friday around 9 o'clock British time. It's very hard for me to calculate times based on where everyone's living, so I always say British time. So 7 o'clock British time I will likely stream next Friday, but I will make a confirmation on Twitter about that for anyone who's interested, and then I will continue chapter 2. Once again, I stopped there because I don't know where the saves are. As we saw with perception earlier, that I had to play for a good 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes before I had played up to the point where I was. That was even at the start of a new chapter, but for some reason I didn't auto-save. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a rambly mess. No one wants to listen that much to me. So, thank you very much for all the interaction today. It's always nice to talk with people. So, thank you all for watching and have a pleasant night. Better take away my spooky lantern. I actually changed my channel icon to a lantern not long ago. I believe it was around a month ago or something. To a blue background with a old cold blast hurricane lantern, I believe they're called. Alright.